Hello YouTube, we're back with another exciting remote play of an Axis and Allies game, and this time we are going to play 1914. My buddy Rick is going to play the Central Powers, and I am going to play the Allies or the Entente, which is nice because I usually play Central Powers, so looking forward to this. It's Rick's first time playing, so because of that we're playing strictly out-of-box rules with maybe a couple things that we'll implement, some house rules to kind of clarify a couple things maybe, but for the most part it's just going to be pretty much strictly out of box. The game isn't perfect. I like it a lot. Some people really dislike certain elements of the game, and so they really like the tournament rules version. I'm not a huge fan of the tournament rules version because it goes way too fast. For a World War I game, it just goes insanely fast. And so there's certain things with it I like, certain things I don't. But for the most part, just so that Rick gets an idea of what an out-of-box game is, we're going to play strictly out-of-box rules, which can go on and on and on, but it's still overall a quicker game than, say, Global in terms of the pacing of it, in my opinion. I like this game a lot. It's not for everyone. The game is also out of print, which makes it harder for people to try it out. As you can see, I kind of pimped mine out with adding neutral armies as well as mines, just to be visual markers to represent that area is mined, and you have to roll for it. Because if those aren't there, it's kind of easy to forget those, to forget to roll for the mines. So, and also have the little capital buildings for each nation's capital, and then I got a little canal marker for Egypt, and then I also want to add. I'll talk to Rick, but I also want to add a canal in Constantinople, or it's a strait, but you know, same basic principle. And yeah, so I think we're also going to play with the Russian Revolution rule, which is optional, but most people, and myself included, really recommend playing with that. What else? Well, that's about it. So we're either going to start playing this tonight or tomorrow for sure, if not tonight. Again, it's Rick's first time playing. He has actually self-made a map of his own. He got printed, but he doesn't actually have a physical copy of the game. I actually had acquired 2 copies before this went out of print, so I have double the pieces normally. But he's going to be using a few 1914 pieces he was able to acquire, as well as just the game pieces from other Axis and Allies stuff. Just reuse those pieces from another game, and make it work. So just so he can kind of get an idea of how this game works, so he doesn't have the same color chips and all that, the chips that are the red chips versus the blue chips for the 2 sides. He's just going to use the standard Axis and Allies chips. And oh yeah, and I also added 3 convoys. These aren't actual convoys; they're just little markers for to denote which territories can be attacked by unrestricted submarine warfare. Yeah, outside of that, I also added a homemade turn marker. So Austria-Hungary, round 1. So I added this. I made this out of. I printed out a page from the rule book, digital file that looked somewhat similar to this, and then I just got these pieces and reused some cardboard roundels. I got these pieces from somebody else. Somebody else got a game in. They punched their stuff out, and I saw their scraps, and I was like, hey, can I take that? And so I kind of came up with this thing, because the turn tracker, the out-of-box turn tracker, it is by far the worst thing. I can't believe it made it past the drawing board. It is terrible. So to come up with something better, I made another cigar box for World War I for 1914 strictly, and on the bottom here I created a Western Front blow-up side map, to kind of, because this area here can get really crowded, as you can imagine. So if it gets crowded and we need to use it, I have this. Rick, actually, somebody else shared this on a group this file, and then but it was covered in just way too much extra information that wasn't necessary. So I had Rick, who's good at graphic design, to clean it up a little bit and just make it really simple to look at and stuff. So it's laminated, that's why there's a little bit of glare to it, but otherwise it's good. And this is magnetized. All these roundels here are magnetized. Got my money over here. This is all tech stuff that is something else I've kind of come up with, but have not gotten a chance to play test yet. But this is where I throw the flight stands, because my fighters are magnetized. There's one, yeah. And the neutral armies I throw in here generally once those get activated or eliminated. You know, they get tossed in there. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm kind of rambling on and on at this point, but yeah, Rick and I are either going to play tonight or play tomorrow, and then I'll do our periodic recaps, and yeah, just with the two of us, I think this game will go fairly quickly. And yeah, so catch you later, YouTube, and stay tuned for a recap of our first round.